Today's tech tip is user-defined results, the identifier field. Scott, you have control.
All right, thank you. So we have a lot of customers that are probably very familiar with the user-defined result previously. But you may not be familiar with is the identifier field within the user-defined result. So once we have a user-defined result identified, we can actually put in an identifier which we can use on subsequent operations. So if we come in here and say we want to define a user-defined result, and I grab one out of the summary variables here, and I've got my user-defined result, ENFOX. We evaluate those results. We've got our forces in the x direction. Now what you may not know is that down here there's actually an identifier field which we can put in a value, and this is what our variable will be referred to, or our expression will be referred to. And if I evaluate that again, you'll see we've now got an expression, force x equals ENFOX in this particular case. That may not seem particularly useful in some scenarios, but if we come in here and we say, well, I want to create force in the x and force in the z as well, if we come in and give those similar variables, force in the y and then force in the z, what we can now do is use those actual names in another user-defined result. So if now I can come in here and say I'm going to create manually a user-defined result, and in my actual expression I can now use those variables. So I can come in here and say force x squared plus force y squared plus force z squared, square root of those. I can actually use those identifiers directly in my expression, and I'll get the square root of the sum of the squares there. So what we can do is if we want to use subsequent results here, we can actually give those identifiers and use them as variables or values inside of our expression. And that's the end of our Mallett Technology Tech Tip, user-defined results, the identifier field. Thank you.